get into our Today in History. Today in History, May 20th, 1873. San Francisco businessman Levi Strauss and Reno, Nevada tailor Jacob Davis are given a patent to create work pants reinforced with metal rivets, marking the birth of one of the world's most famous garments, blue jeans. Right. So marks the start of Levi Strauss Company. That's Levi jeans. Right? I'm sure most of you either own them or have heard of them. They're, I think, probably still the most successful jean company in the United States, right? That if you have a pair of Levi's, they're supposed to be the best of the best in terms of jeans, right? So this is the very first time that they are patented and produced. Pretty cool. Okay, let's get into our work. So, okay. Yesterday you guys had, apparently my computer doesn't want to cooperate today. Okay. Yesterday you guys had this reading about Soviet spies, specifically about a couple known as the Rosenbergs. You had Julius and Ethel Rosenberg, and you read a little bit about who they were, what entailed within what their spying entailed, and a little bit about the trial and in terms of what happened to them. Right, so hopefully you guys found that pretty interesting, because I happen to think it's pretty interesting, right? Spies living in the United States and orchestrating this massive spy ring under the nose of the American government is pretty crazy. And then you had to answer the questions in the graphic organizer that went along with that. All right, moving forward. All right, so during the time period of the Cold War, we're going to encounter something that's known as the Red Scare. Generally, when we say red, that's the color that's associated with communism, because the Soviet Union's flag is that big red flag with the yellow like hook on it. So when we say Red Scare, we're talking about that fear of communism. Right? And the Red Scare is literally people being terrified that communists were trying to infiltrate the United States. Right? And with events such as the Rosenbergs and the discovery of actual spies living in the United States, that fear is only amplified. And people like a man named Joseph McCarthy run with that fear and use it to their advantage to create hysteria across the United States, literally terrifying people that there are Soviet spies amongst us. Right, so here you're going to read a little bit of background information about how the Red Scare comes about, right? And then your aim is, how did the Cold War fears in the United States contribute to McCarthyism? Right? So you have 4 questions here based on the sources, and then 1 is an opinion question. You just have to make sure you support it with evidence. So your first source is the House of Un-American Activities Committee, or HAC, however you'd like to say it, and you're going to read, essentially it was a committee created by the US government to investigate the possibility of spies living in the United States, right, because of things such as the Rosenbergs. And you're going to read about something known as the Hollywood 10, right? I'll let you guys get into that. And then you're going to read about Joseph McCarthy, the man who is responsible for a time known as McCarthyism, right? Where he pushes really the search for communists in the United States, but it's not done in a proper way, right? Really, he's just using hysteria and fear and creates this giant witch hunt where people are just blindly blaming people of being communists, and it's pretty crazy, right? And then along with each source, you have little video clips. The one up here on the House of Un-American Activities Committee is about 1.5 minutes long, right? It looks like, it will open for me. It looks like this. It is on history.com, so it's gonna take a second to load, but you can see down here in the corner, you hit the play button and it's 1.5 minutes quick video, nothing crazy. All right. And then for the Joseph McCarthy, you have another video. That one is linked to CNN, and it's this, right? There are a bunch of them here at the bottom, but the one that will load is the one you should be watching, and that's just under 3 minutes. Nothing crazy, but it will talk about Joseph McCarthy and exactly how this hysteria happened and how he was the push behind all of that. Okay? So that is that. Just make sure you are answering your questions with details. Right? Please make sure that I'm not getting 2-word answers. That's not what I'm looking for. You guys know that that's not the expectation. All right? And then down here, make sure there is no right or wrong answer, but you need to support whatever your opinion is with some sort of evidence from the sources to back up what you're saying. Right? And then, of course, I will post the Google slide like I have been doing this week. I happen to like it. We'll see how you guys feel about it. But you have your aim up here, of course, and the video will be here. And don't forget to watch today's positivity video that's going out, right? Woodland Positivity every Wednesday. And if you guys click on the post-it, the link for the Woodland YouTube page will pop up and it'll just bring you right there if you choose to watch it. Hopefully you do. I think they're nice. It's always nice to, hear positive messages from everyone. But yeah, all right. So that should be everything. Please reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns. I know progress reports went out on Friday, so I'm sure your parents have looked through them. I also sent out a mass email to everyone's parents, just kind of checking in and letting them know how things are going to go from here on out. One of the things I did mention to your parents, and I'll mention it to you guys, is that if you make up any work that I marked as not completed on Hack so far, make sure you email me or you write a comment on that lesson, right? I don't get notifications when you complete a lesson, right? I would lose my mind if I was getting hundreds of email notifications a day. So if you go in and complete a missing lesson, you need to let me know that you've done it so I can go in and check. Otherwise, I'm not going to know that it's done. Okay? That should be everything. Again, reach out if you have any questions or concerns. Right? I hope you guys have an amazing day. And of course, as always, stay safe and make good choices. Bye, guys.